And right now, in every single swing state, Donald Trump is leading, again, like I said, except for Nevada, in some of these states by a healthy margin. This means people are willing to actually put their own money on the line, betting that they think Trump is going to win. We're going to take a quick diversion from our usual roundup of the polls, and we're going to focus on Polymarket. Do you know what Polymarket is? Take a look at this. It's actually pretty amazing. Polymarket is the #1 downloaded app right now. More than the New York Times, CNN. What's that even still there? Obviously, when you look at these apps, a lot of them are focused on news because we're in a news-hungry culture right now. But the very top one is Polymarket, election forecast, trust the markets, not polls. Polymarket is kind of a betting site, basically, but it's not like you're betting on sports, and it's not, it's a combination betting market and investment site where you sort of invest in your candidate that you think is going to succeed. And that, some people believe, is a better indication of the strength of a candidate. Because it's one thing to say, yeah, I support this person. It's a whole other thing to actually put your money where your mouth is. And Polymarket is gaining a lot of steam and a lot of attention. The British betting sites have allowed people to bet on the outcome of elections. That's against the law here in America. But in England, they've been able to do that. And oftentimes, the betting websites and the bookies that take bets on election outcomes are way more accurate than actual polls are. Think about that for a minute as we see Donald Trump was actually asked about Polymarket the other day. And I think this was this the Barstool? No, this is the Full Send podcast. And here, take a look. He tracks it.
You're up in the polls. I know I've seen you post Polymarket on Truth Social.
Yeah.
They have you up by 3%. And this is different because it's actual people wagering real money on it. 1.7 billion on you to win. So people say it's a more accurate way to actually assess polling. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
This is what Elon tweeted out. He posted that you're up 3
that's
points
good.
on Polymarket.
So I looked at it before. We're up 9 points, and I think we had one where we're up 50 points. I'll give you that one.
So he saw that, and so he's obviously been tracking it, and he wanted to see, his margin of victory go up higher, obviously, than 9 points. So let's take a look at Polymarket today. In fact, right now, in real time, yeah, he's definitely up by more than 9 points now. He's actually up over 20 points as he's sitting at 62.3%, as you can see with Kamala. This is, by the way, a difference of 2.7% from the last check. They also break it down on a per state basis. As you can see, the only toss-up now of the major toss-up states continues to be Nevada. Now, again, this is real-time, real money that people are betting and laying in basically an investment in a future. Like if you buy Trump now, you're buying him with a 62% chance of winning. Now, if you buy Kamala Harris right now, you're buying low, right? And you're thinking maybe she'll have a chance and you're buying low and you'll be able to get a better return. Take a look at how it's tracked all year long. This goes back to May, all right? Now, the gray line in this line graph is Biden. He's gray because he's out, right? He's out of the race. The blue line is Kamala Harris. So you can see at the beginning, Kamala Harris is all the way down at the bottom because she wasn't a candidate. So in June, right around where that debate happened, you see Trump absolutely start to take off. And you've got Trump at 63 and Biden at 21. That's when Kamala Harris started to climb, right? And then by the time you hit July, you see Kamala Harris actually as a candidate. But Polymarket wasn't buying it at the beginning. Trump is still winning at that point at 63% to Harris is 21%. That's right around this is the convention right here where he got up to 71%. But then things started to shift as Kamala Harris had all of her great publicity, and then she had her convention, and then suddenly Kamala Harris goes in the lead. And back in mid to late August, Kamala Harris was in the lead, 50-49 right there, right after the convention. You can see on this line graph that it's sort of bounced back and forth since then with either of them trading the lead, but it's all within 1 or 2 points until just recently. You see that giant sharp climb right there from Trump and he goes up about 54% to her 46. Now we've got a 9-point lead, right? This is right around when that podcast was recorded. But now look at the last week and a half. Look at October now. It's an absolutely amazing trend here. Now, this is the first election that I know of where Polymarket has really been a major factor in terms of people looking at it as an indicator as to how the election might go. So I'm not telling you that this is 100% or even 50% valid, but it is another indication to look at. They also have a breakdown on a per state basis. And right now, in every single swing state, Donald Trump is leading, again, like I said, except for Nevada, in some of these states by a healthy margin. This means people are willing to actually put their own money on the line, betting that they think Trump is going to win. Popular vote right now, Kamala Harris is still winning in the popular vote. So you see how this works. So you can bet on the line, or you can bet on the over under. It's like a sports betting. So you can bet that Donald Trump will win the Electoral College, or I should say invest in the idea of Trump winning the Electoral College, but then also invest in the concept that Kamala Harris will still win the popular vote. And that's how things go here in the United States of America. You can win the popular vote and not win the presidency. There's also other markets like, will there be another debate? Will Kamala Harris win all 6 swing states? Things like that. You can also bet on the House and Senate, which I find interesting right now. The presidency going to the Republicans is up at around 63%. The Senate, 80%, which is a pretty safe bet right now, considering what's going on in West Virginia and Wyoming. Those are 2 Democrat states that look like they're locks. The House right now, interestingly, is basically in toss-up zone, but the Democrats have a slight edge in winning the House. You can also say Republicans get a complete sweep, and that's at 43% right now. So still a long shot, but it's more favorable than Democrats getting a sweep. So that's where Polymarket is right now. And I think it's kind of fascinating. Again, here's a quick look at the Electoral College as of about an hour ago when this screenshot was taken. And of course, the darkness of the colors in the swing states reflect on how solid the bet is, right? The blue wall, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, where Kamala Harris cannot afford to lose one of them, in the pink zone right now for the Republican candidate, Donald Trump. North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona are a little darker. I don't know if you can tell on your monitor. Those states are right now looking pretty solid for Donald Trump. But again, we're 18 days out. Now, here's another interesting thing about this Polymarket thing. At Times Square, for the last several months, they've had a real-time digital active billboard. As you can see, at Times Square, they've had this real-time digital billboard right there at Times Square, showing everyone at the crossroads of the world exactly where the real-time live odds are. This was taken about a week ago, I think, showing Donald Trump in red. See, the numbers change based on the investments, right? And this shows you exactly on that billboard who's winning and who's losing at any given time. As of last night, again, I showed you on the line graph where Donald Trump about 2.5 weeks ago started to pull ahead, like there was a sharp tick up, and then it's just started to grow and grow and grow since then. I think it was really the J.D. Vance debate that may have started this trend, but he's, looking in his rearview mirror now, he's up 20 points, right? And so something very interesting happened to that Times Square billboard. Take a look. This is somebody at Times Square last night. Look, it's changed. This person's looking, or actually, that's up at the north side of Times Square. So hold on. The billboard for Polymarket is down at the other end of Times Square. So hold on. That's Duffy Square. That's where you go to get your discount Broadway ticket for same day. But that right there, all the way down there, see where it says Jelly Roll? That's the same billboard that had been Polymarket, and now it's not there. Now, this guy's camera work is not great because he's in his car. And I'm afraid to keep this up because Lord knows what happens in Times Square. But now the billboard isn't there. That's fascinating. One more look, by the way, at the state-by-state breakdown from Polymarket. And let's just continue to say the same thing that I've been saying for a while now, because anything can happen, obviously, in this election. All I'm saying is, where are we? 2.5 weeks away from election day, early voting already going on. Compared to 4 years ago and 8 years ago, Donald Trump is stronger than he had been at any time in those elections. Number one. Number two, if you could take your pick right now as to which campaign to be associated with, if you could be on the inside and have all of your future invested in Kamala Harris being president versus Donald Trump being president, you're a lot happier in the Trump camp right now than you are in the Kamala camp. Let me just say, if you're a staffer working on the Kamala Harris campaign, you're working hard, you're a good person, you're trying to earn your keep, but you're spending a little bit more time dusting off your resume right now for your next gig. And you're not dusting off your resume for a job in the White House. Not even close.